The amount of time that I have wasted, you will not make anything happen just by thinking about it. And I just wish that I'd spent more time going through the hard shit. I've unfortunately spent so much time, wasted so much time rather, focusing on the things that I can't control rather than the things that I can control. So looking at the outcome of a goal rather than the inputs that I have to put in to actually make it a reality. And by that, I mean that, for example, scrolling through houses that I could potentially buy one day once I have enough money to have a deposit, rather than doing the work that I need to do in order to get the deposit. I'm wasting the hours looking at the possibility of being able to one day buy a house of my dreams. I've been in the soup a lot over the past few years of kind of looking at the possibilities and living in the possibilities of like, this could happen, I could live here, I could do this, I could do that, and kind of getting lost in that and lost in the planning and the visualization aspect, but then falling short when it comes to actually doing the actions in order to making it a reality. And I could be so much further ahead if I'd only just gone and done the thing and stopped wasting so much time in this planning stage. I don't know if it's because up to the age of like university, you were told exactly every single step that you have to do and you follow the system. And then when you come out of university, it's like the world is your oyster and you can do anything almost. You have endless amounts of possibilities of things that you can do and routes that you can take. And I felt like that really overwhelmed me at one point because I don't know what I want to do. I feel like I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. And there's no one thing that I'm like, I love this. Like I'm not a super like niched person where I have like one interest, and I don't think many of us are. So I found that really difficult. And I think throughout the years, there's always been this possibility. And obviously with online, you see so many other people living different lives and you see how amazing it looks. Obviously you don't see like the hard work that goes into it and all of the downfalls and the failures that they've made, but you see this like perfect idealized picture of that. And you think, oh my God, I want that to be my life. I want to live in this house. I want to go on this holiday. I want to do this business. I want to try this hobby. And it's constantly this like influx of ideas that you feel like you're missing out. And this is how I kind of felt. So I would pick up one thing where I feel like, okay, this is something I want to do. And I would be in the planning stage, the possibility stage of like visualizing it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like so exciting. I can't wait for me to get to this version of myself. And I have this like perfect image of her. And it's like such an exciting idea. But when it then starts to get hard and you have to put in more of the work, it then kind of loses like the sparkle of like possibility. And you realize, oh, maybe this isn't actually as easy as I thought it was once going to be. Maybe it's not actually as great as I thought it was going to be. And I didn't expect for this to happen, because obviously when you're like thinking of the possibilities and all of like the romanticizing aspects of like these versions of your life, you don't think of all the negative sides of things. So when these things come up, it's a bit like, oh, maybe I won't bother with this actually. And then you find the next shiny object and you go for that instead. And I've only recently realized this, I think, because I'm entering like my 30s very, very soon. So I'm like reflecting on the past years of my 20s and thinking, oh my God, if I only I'd realized this sooner and like caught myself out, I wonder how far along I would be with certain things. And it's not to say that I haven't done work, like I've done work, but I could have made a lot more progress if I had spent less time focusing on the outputs and more time on the inputs, like the actions, the things that I can actually do day in and day out to make that goal a reality. And that's what I'm doing. Like, for example, today I'm sitting down and making this video because this is an action step in order for me to grow on YouTube, to get better at being a creator. Me sitting at home and watching other creators make videos and them going out and doing the things that I want to do is not going to make me a better creator. That is not going to get me closer to my goal of getting monetized on YouTube, for example, or improving my art of creating and talking to the camera, getting more confident. That's not going to help me get to that goal, where coming out here into the wild and vlogging and just trying to speak to the camera, getting better at editing and going through those hard moments, those inputs, which are the difficult parts, is what's going to help me get there. And I just wish that I'd spent more time going through the hard shit, basically, and not focus just on the frilly romanticizing life and all of the possibilities, because we get so much dopamine from planning, so much dopamine from picturing this perfect life that we might have. But it's so true that if you do not put in the time and the effort, the years will pass by and you will not make it, because you will not make anything happen just by thinking about it. You actually have to do it too. I unfortunately in the past have given into the dopamine and chosen the easy option of just romanticizing my life in my brain rather than actually going out and doing the things that are difficult and that I have to do in order to make it a reality. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that's kept me stuck and that I'm really trying to reverse at the minute. And it's difficult because you're rewiring your brain. And that's not to say that you can't romanticize your life. Like obviously I love having a vision and having a dream and a goal. I think that's great and that's one thing, but don't obsess and like focus too much time on that, because the most important thing is that you go and actually do the things that you need to do in order to make it a reality. So yeah.